Welcome back, beautiful souls, to the channel. I'm Sheik, your conscious mentor, and today I will be going over the Pisces full moon energy update for September 10th, 2022 and what you need to know. In this video, I will be channeling messages that you need to know about this Pisces full moon and how it will affect you. I'll be pulling cards as well, and I'm really excited to get into this video. There's so much I have to cover with you, so get some tea, some cacao, get comfortable, and let's get into the video. Before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells so you don't miss a video. I do these videos every single month for the full moon, the new moons, and this channel is really to help you with your shadow work, your healing, stepping into that power of yourself, as well as working on medicine as well and working with the earth and plant medicine. So if these are things that are interested into you, I would definitely suggest you joining our family. And also, if you feel called to go deeper into your work, I am opening my one-on-ones, 5 beautiful souls that I'm holding space for starting in the fall. So if you are ready to deepen your shadow work, healing, tapping into your gifts, or you are also a space holder wanting to make a more powerful space of holding, then these programs are best for you. I will also share that I have my retreats. They are medicine retreats where we connect with the medicine of Kambo and other medicines as well, shamanic healing, as well as breath work. And I have 2 coming up, one in Costa Rica in October called the Awaken Healer, for those to tap into their healer space, how to be a healer, and also going into the business of being a healer as well, and integrity, and so much more, as well as our shadow work. And then I have my last retreat of the year that's coming up in St. Lucia, the lands of my ancestors, and it's an ancestral healing, which is going to be amazing, where we clear out ancestral karmic patterns, tapping into medicine again with Kambo and other medicines as well. It's going to be so beautiful, and the space is amazing. So if you're interested in joining the retreats, message me on Instagram so you can enroll. You can also email me through my website and let me know, and I would be more than happy to have you be there. It's a beautiful space, and I'm so excited. Okay, let's get into this video. Are there any Pisces here? Let me know. Pisces moon, Pisces sun, Pisces rising, or you have Pisces in your chart. Please let me know, because this is how Pisces full moon will affect you. Remembering that the full moon is all about seeing what intentions we set for this Virgo new moon that we just had, and seeing how that has unfolded in the full moon to help us with manifestations. So full moon is all about the manifesting depending on the moon, but here we're talking about manifesting our gifts. Okay, we're talking about manifesting in that space. So that brings me to the first thing you need to know about this Pisces full moon on September 10th, 2022. Insecurities start to surface. And this fall, in general, fall season is a time of shedding. If we look at the leaves, they change color, they leave our plants. And, we as humans, as beings, as souls, also work with the spirit of Mother Earth, and that's why I work a lot with shamanic healing. So here it's all about shedding the insecurities that we've been holding for so long. And inner child healing comes up a lot. If you would like to work more with inner child healing, I do have a course on inner child healing called Phoenix, and I would highly suggest it. It's a very powerful course that you can work through for this month. So with this Pisces, is knowing, this is a sign to really just connect with the unseen world. And what comes up for me is a lot of people I've worked with, or some of you that have shared that, you've been really connected with the unseen world. All of us are. We're such conscious beings when we come into this world on the earth side, but then we get scared, whether that is the belief system that we're born into, or maybe our parents or our family members don't nurture it as much, or they suppress our imaginative life and our imaginative I can't say that word, space and how we see the world. So here it's really calling us to understand how we can tap into the believing of the unseen world. So maybe where are some times in your life that you felt like the unseen world was working against you? When are some times in your life that you felt that you were insecure with the unseen world and you didn't trust the unseen world? This is where it's going to step in. I have my cards here, so I'm going to pull out one of my cards that are coming up for me for you guys. This is Wisdom of the Oracle deck for anyone who's interested in getting these decks, because I always get questions on where I get my decks and how I get them. So This is wisdom of the oracle. So let's see what we have for cards, channel messages of insecurities and how to step into that. So we have 4 cards coming out. 4 is the number of awakening. So awakening our gifts, awakening parts of us that we've been suppressing. Pisces are very attuned to the unseen world. They're psychics. They tend to be very psychic beings. And whether they're the 4 C's, clairaudient, clairsentient, they are just very intuitive. And I really do, as a Scorpio, I relate with Pisces a lot. The 4 cards that we got here is the message in the bottle, which I feel is so perfect for this time. So message in the bottle. And what this card is calling us, what this card is calling us to do is, what messages is Spirit trying to call in for us? And I'm going to go back to this card in a bit, but you know, here it's just like, you know, fetching that message. And here it's saying that maybe some of us don't know exactly during the Pisces full moon leading up to it what insecurity is necessarily triggering us, but maybe there will be a certain event or a certain situation that's going to bring up a lot of things emotionally for you. And again, Pisces tend to be more of an emotional sign. So tuning into that, let's look into what they say here on this card. So communication, a sign of the Keldan, the ancient name of a spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by a speaker, pointing the way of your highest good. So knowing that you will get a message of your highest good, of understanding that the way that you'll be triggered, and when I say triggered, I mean the way that things will come up from this Pisces full moon, as far as insecurities of accepting your uniqueness and accepting, you know, that depth of yourself and the way that you want to be seen through your gifts, is this Spirit is going to bring tests to you to see how much are you in your truth. A lot of people want truth, but then when they receive it, we don't fully allow ourselves to embody it. You know, we're like, we want truth. We want to be in our true, authentic self. We're on this shadow work path for that. But the moment that Spirit brings us a lesson, how many times do we suppress that truth? So Spirit sends you a sign when you ask for them, when you believe to receive them. Are you believing in the unseen world? Again, Pisces full moon is all about believing what we can't see and trusting it. You know, not everything that is working, not all the work happens on the human plane. There's a lot of work that's happening, almost like the Mystic card from my other deck is coming up, that there's a lot of things that Spirit's doing that you can't see right now. Fluent with the symbols, the oracles, the omens. So notice what animals, notice what angel numbers you're receiving around this time. That's going to help you tap into how I can be my truth. They are to come with a bird that's flying, almost like this message, this radio that you'll get. So for some of you with your gifts, you might get that through a dream. You might hear something, you might feel something, you might smell something. Tapping into your senses during this full moon, being more present to tap into, maybe, you know, there is more to it. The message is always in front of us, but the difference is with the full moon, the frequency of that message becomes louder. It's like we're getting a little bit louder on the radio. That's essentially what's happening here. Keep your ears open, and someone might say just the right thing that will give you the answer that you are looking for. Spirit hears everything. So whether it's in our internal mind or whether we're speaking it to someone, it hears everything. Time for a nap. So this card's really interesting. It's talking about rest, but how this card is coming up specifically for this time is that be mindful of your dream work, okay? So during 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, because Pisces is so psychic, so tapped into the veil, the unseen world, and collectively the unseen world has been even more and more thinner day by day. So one thing I will share is that, you know, writing and journaling your dreams 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. What dreams are you having, and how are these dreams lessons about insecurities or things that are coming up for you? Soulmates. Oh, this one's a big one. So all relationships you've had, whether they're in your family, whether they are in your past relationships, I always say we start dreaming about exes because there is something that is in us that needs to be healed. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that specific person. It could be an experience, a belief system that we've had. So what insecurities have you created within your being to not be fully seen based on your past relationships? What insecurities are still within you that is preventing you from being in your truth and taking on the way that people judged you and their comments as your truth? Because it's only true if you will decide to create a belief system around that. So here it's all about, insecurity. So whether that is dreaming about an ex, learning the lesson from that ex, whether that is dreaming about an ex friendship that comes up, or someone texting you from your past, asking yourself, where in myself do I feel this sense of insecurity of my being, and how can I feel more safe in that? Why is this person coming in? Because there is a trigger of a wound from that time, of that state of being, that is causing me to affect my reality in this present moment. And the last card's deep knowing. We have the owl spirit here on top of the full moon. So this is all about deep knowing. You're getting clarity of what you already know here. It's almost like when people get card readings, I always say that the reason we get a card reading is just to, have more security in what we already know. A lot of the times when we get a reading, or we do these, or even these videos, it's to ignite what's already there and to give you more clarity. So asking yourself this deep knowing that you have, what are the deep knowings that you actually have and you haven't been giving yourself the credit for it? I always tell people crystals, sage, those tools we use in our spiritual path, we charge them with our energy, right? So at the end of the day, we have to give ourselves that credit, that we actually, our intuition is what ignites those tools. So how can you trust in your intuition more? The second thing you need to know about this Pisces full moon on September 10th, 2022 is that seeking a greater connection outside of yourself, and to remember to know the difference between a spiritual escapism and clarity within connection. So I want to go into this deeper because this has been coming up as a theme, even leading up to it a month before as I'm recording this. So seeking great connection outside of yourself. Whether you grew up in a very, religious-based environment, or maybe atheist, or maybe in between, or maybe your parents were liberal, whatever came up, knowing that right now, the Pisces full moon is going to ignite you to find spirituality on your own. We have many videos on YouTube, many teachers like myself as well. But one of the biggest things I always tell people is take what resonates for you, because at the end of the day, it is your life, it is your experience, and we have these moments to teach us what resonates and comes to a remembering of our soul. So this time is more of a connection. You might feel that you have a new deck that you buy to connect with your intuition more. Maybe this is a time where you're seeking more clarity and connection outside. You start to practice your clairsentient. You start to practice your gifts. You start to stop hiding them and not being scared of it. And what comes up for me and came up during the goddess retreat I just did is the fear of the dark. I don't know if anyone has fear of the dark. I know I had it for most of my life. If you do, let me know down below with a little black heart emoji. But fear of the dark is really the fear of knowing, the fear of the unknown. And a lot of children have that because whether they are so, empathic, or maybe they had an experience with the spirit that they weren't able to have that explanation of like what that interaction was, they get that fear of the unknown, they get that fear of the dark, they get that fear, and that creates and it manifests into fear of loneliness and fear of being alone, and sometimes fear of death. So this is just a sign, if you do know that, something that came up for me for the Pisces, if you do have that fear, it's the fear of connecting with yourself, with your spirit. And maybe knowing that there is that power in there that you're a fear of unlocking. And with that unlocking that truth, you're scared that your reality, the relationships you have, the people you have, the way that you've maybe built who you are on these insecurities and experiences, you're gonna have to shed those, and those will dissolve. And then you ask yourself, who am I? But then really what you have to ask yourself is, wow, here I am. You have to tell yourself, here I am, right? I've been running away from it and now I'm here. There's something beautiful about nothingness and something beautiful about the chaos of finding ourselves. There is, there's only way up. The only way that we can go is up after that. I'm gonna pull an ancestral card as I'm channeling this. Another part that I mentioned here is remembering the difference between spiritual escapism and clarity within. So there's this thing that happens a lot of the times where when people start to find their insecurities and they start to come up, or they start to find out what parts of them needs to be reclaimed, or maybe they want to learn more about, what they do is they start to hook and attach themselves to other people's versions of their being. So here it's really asking yourself, how are you escaping your truth? How are you escaping the shadow work? How are you escaping the insecurities that keep coming on the hamster wheel? This is an opportunity to remove that completely. We have 3 cards that came out. Sage. It's funny, I was talking about sage, the medicine. Here it says we devote and are committed. Are you devoted and committed to yourself? Are you devoted and committed to yourself and seeking this inner knowing, this inner connection, this inner being and sense of clarity? So here it's saying with this, remembering the difference between, escapism and connection of self is, are you devoting the commitment of pleasing other people outside of yourself? Are you devoting and committing pleasing the insecurities and the wounds? Or are you devoting and committing and saying, I don't know what that looks like, but I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to understand what is connecting to myself. I am scared of doing it. And I know that, with that comes a lot, but knowing that you are on this path of truth, and it's a remembering of that during this Pisces full moon. The second card we have is enjoy growth and reap of, your rewards. So how many of you have been enjoying your rewards? I know this is all about shadow work and healing, but there's also understanding where you're at, right? So ask yourself, a great shadow work prompt to write down is, where are you in this now of your path of shadow work and those insecurities? What are some things that you can be grateful for and celebrate that you've healed over a period of time? That is what's going to allow us to come to the final thing that all humans are here to experience in this earth world, which is connection to all in life. And that is scary because with connection to all of life, people can mirror, especially in community and conscious community. One of the biggest things I've learned is they mirror things in us that's already alive. And if there is something that we need to heal or work through, it's going to call us to grow, right? So here it's like constant growth. How can I be open? How can my heart, my being be open to this constant growth and journey of growth, right? The other card we have, there's 4 cards. 4 is our number. There's one hiding underneath. Star ancestors. So connecting with your ancestors. There are going to be some ancestors that are going to come, some new guides during the Pisces full moon. And again, just welcoming it. Don't go into the human of overanalyzing, who's this ancestor, blah, 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 like what lineage are they, my father, my mother. They will tell you, they will share with you. The great thing to do when you find a new guide or ancestor in the unseen world is to ask them, what are you here to support me with? How I'm open to your support, and tuning into that benevolent energy. So here it says, follow the voice of your soul. This is a big one. This is all Pisces. Pisces signs, I hope you can hear me because there's construction next door. Pisces signs have been running away from their being. They've been running away from their gifts because the world tells them otherwise, and they have to be a certain way, be this like robotic being, but they feel everything. So here it's just saying that your voice, your soul with these gifts, with those channel messages are what activate people. When you can be in your authentic self and start to not be a victim of your insecurities, what happens is you become a teacher through your voice. You become a connection. That's why I say at the end of the day, we're here to connect with everything and be all with everything. Everything is connection. We are universe. We are earth. We are connected to everything. We are all that is. But we choose to disconnect from it. So here it's saying that how can you use your voice to tap into healing yourself, claiming that version of yourself, claiming your gifts, and allowing that to be medicine for others in your life, such as your ancestors, such as your family who's also on this journey. And yes, we can love them. We don't have to like everything they do. But here is saying, how can we still use our voice and still be in our truth, even if people walk away and they're not satisfied with what we say? You're not here to please everyone. This is what Pisces full moon's all about. It's not about pleasing everyone. And this change brings me to the next card. This is a good one, Lord card. take charge with authority. There's a difference when someone is kind of nervous to say their boundaries and what they're meant to do, as opposed to someone who knows and they're like taking charge of what they're saying. So let's read this card, because this card is a good one. 50. So 50, change to the infinite. That's what this number means. Don't be afraid to take charge of your voice and be strong. How are you quieting your voice because of these insecurities of those past relationships, your parents, your family members? Now is the time to use your voice. And when you can use your voice, what you're doing is you're clearing out those karmic debts that you've been holding in this lifetime and beyond. So the Lord is a consort of the Lady and the Emperor, which is funny because we had the Lady and we had the Lord. So that's the feminine and the masculine, your mother's side and your father's side, the male and the female, or the masculine and the feminine archetypes in your life. So here he represents the authoritative male who isn't afraid to lay it down. How can we welcome that nurtured, healing, masculine within ourselves? And sometimes those insecurities are created because we have received the reaction of the wounded masculine. But to know that we also have to take the energetic responsibility that we have claimed what they have put on us and became a victim of those experiences, and have clinged on to those past experiences that have suppressed our voice and our gifts and our being. So how are you going to claim that? My question is, how are you going to claim yourself to please yourself and not please others? How are you going to claim your new voice, your strength in your voice? But this doesn't mean angry. He's not angry here. He's being authoritative. He's being assertive. How can you be more assertive with who you are? The Lord is the oracle with the ram staff and wears a crown of antlers, showing that he keeps himself firmly rooted in the grounded and protective to the people. He regulates his air and indicates this taste of finer things in life. How are you claiming what is your worth here? Okay, you are a very powerful, energetic being. There's a lot of things you haven't claimed because you've been attached to the past moments that have created insecurities in your now. And all that matters is now. All that matters is love. Now and love are both the same thing. I'm going to do a video on love and why people are blocked off in their heart. If you'd like to see that, put a heart emoji down below. So here, if you feel that your kindness of gifts are being taken for granted, not being witnessed, Pisces, it's time to take change of that, take charge of that. There is no excuse of bad behavior, and the ancestors are encouraging you to hold your ground and to speak your mind fiercely in a loving way. You can be fierce and stern in a loving way. It doesn't have to be in a way from anger. If we're in this space of our truth, it comes with love. You have the energy and might to overcome drama and energies that aren't working for your growth, and it's time to take charge before you find yourself in a situation you don't want to be in. You are being encouraged to be a boss instead of being bossed. What ways in your life are you allowing these insecurities to boss and to take charge of your reality? Because let me tell you, these insecurities aren't your reality. They are connections and attachments to the past, and the past that someone has said to you, including yourself, in a current present moment. And that's why the past keeps coming in this present time. That's why the past and these people and these archetypes keep coming up no matter where we are in our life. And that's why I say energy work and shadow work is so important, and why I'm so passionate about working with the moon. It's a space where you can open up and really work on yourself. And I think one of the biggest things is it keeps us in check when we're conscious about this work is how much do we allow our life to be run and ungrounded from a space of victimhood of past experiences, relationships, and our own self-sabotage and negative thoughts. And Pisces is like, it's time to take power in yourself and reclaiming all of that. The third thing you need to know about this Pisces full moon on September 10th, 2022, bring the inner child to play and imagine the impossible to be possible. So a lot of us as a younger child, we have this imaginative mind, and sometimes that is suppressed because of our parents not having that as well, or maybe because of the responsibility of us putting that pressure on ourselves to be the parent in the household. So here Pisces is all about being playful, maybe, allowing yourself to have a day where you have no plans. And I know for Virgos, I know for some Libras and some other signs as well, that might feel uncomfortable because you're constantly you like structure, but at the end of the day, you have to know structure is not really existent, because at the end of the day, we have structure from a masculine, but we have to allow ourselves to let the feminine dream. That's where our life changes from insecurities. Feminine energy is meant for us to be the dreamer, the connection of emotion, what we want, to claim that. And then the masculine is taking charge and creating that space of the Lord energy, claiming your gifts, claiming who you are, claiming your voice. But first we need to imagine where that is. And that's where our inner child comes in handy. So connecting with our inner child. And for some of you who are going to say that my inner child was a very lower vibration frequency time, allow yourself to give your inner child permission to say you are free to express as you are, with detachment of what was happening at that time. And you're going to see your inner child in a different light, because when they can be in this imaginative, expressive way, you're going to notice, wow, there they are. They were there the whole time, but they were allowing themselves to be a victim of like taking on mom and dad stuff, being the bigger sibling, you know, having to take responsibility all the time, not giving themselves permission because they didn't feel safe to do so. Observe. This card just came out. Observe. I don't know if you guys can see that. So observing in that space. So this has a crescent and waning moon here, and that's interesting. So the period between the Pisces and also between Virgo and Pisces, that time is going to be really powerful, because there it's already going to start to blend in the blender of what insecurities are coming up for you. So this is a time that, even though what the message is coming up for me, even though it is the Pisces full moon, still bring that energy of playfulness into your life. How can I be more playful at work? How can I be more playful in my relationship? How can I be more spontaneous and allow that inner child to come through and believe in themselves, believe that they can dream, right? When we're attached to the insecurities and the way that we have to be in a certain way in the world and not being ourselves, what happens is we're scared of saying how we want to dream big. This is what Pisces full moon's about. Dream big, manifest big. So I want you to write into script, and I have a video on how to script if you'd like to learn more about doing it effectively. Script out, what ways does your inner child want to dream? What things does your inner child manifest from your inner child's frequency of that free life that they have, and that unlimited, barriered version of themselves where they believe everything is possible, and call in your benevolent guides and angels to help and support you through this during this full moon in Pisces. This is going to be a really powerful manifestation, because like I said, fall is all about shedding. So what's going to happen between September going into January is we're going to shed everything that's not in that frequency, and in doing that, we're making room for the new and that imaginative version of ourselves. The next thing you need to know about this Pisces full moon on September 10th, 2022 is the waiting game. You haven't gotten the sign yet, because time is to wait and see the universe's crumbs. For those of you who are manifesting and saying, I don't see it, I don't see it, I don't see it, I don't see it, stop being in the waiting game, because that's not how manifestation works. Pisces is a reminder that we need to wait till the crumbs come in, and then when the crumbs come in, we can follow those crumbs and know how to act next. But in the meantime, what we can do is work on, letting go and dissolving those insecurities, really strengthening our voice from the space of our gifts that both our ancestors give us. A lot of people don't know our ancestors give us gifts, and then the gifts that our soul has. So what are your gifts? And maybe you don't know what your gifts are, but I will say that the meditation that I have recorded for you guys is going to be journeying through that and reclaiming your gifts. So make sure you subscribe and like this video, because this is going to be a really powerful healing meditation for you. So remember, there's no waiting game. Stop being in the space of waiting for change and be in the space that it's already changed. Be in the space of what does that look like to not be in a space of insecurity. How would it feel to not be in a space of insecurity? I'm laughing because Spirit just pulled this card. Here and now. This is exactly what I was just talking about. And I'm seeing this as the cosmic egg. So the now is really the most powerful moment and place you can be. In the now frequency, what you are doing here is you are claiming that you are in a powerful position. A lot of the times where we feel lost in our journey is we're focusing on the past or in the future, when those two things aren't things that we have the power to do right now. What we have the power to do is watching this video and tuning into how it's affecting you energetically. And from there, acting from that and manifesting in a way and doing the healing and doing the work and working on our throat chakra, whether that is through chanting the throat chakra. That's a great exercise for you. Chanting, singing, opening that up. So here it's saying, how can you step away from the past and be in the now? Stop being in the future so much and be in the present now. Even when you are manifesting, how are you being in the now there? That is really huge. So I'm going to read this card because it's really powerful. Being fully present in the moment and living day by day, time by time. Stop putting pressure on yourself for what's to come in the future, because we know when that thing comes, there's still going to be more things we have to work on. There's still going to be detours. You know, one of the best advice I get, and I said this in the last video, is that, you know, when we become the space of our manifestation, when we're at that space where we have everything we want, nothing changes as far as what we have to manage. You know, the problems and the issues, they're still there, but we become masters of solving that and being in that space of presence while solving these boundaries, while solving these barriers, and those blocks that come up. Everything happens in the now, in the present. Only this moment counts. You have what it takes to handle anything today if you let go of the need to look into the future and reflect on the past. Be present and notice what is going on right now. I'm going to say something very directly, Spirit saying as a channel message. You have no control of the future. You have no control of the past, but you have all the control of what is now. And as I said, that the construction started. So this very moment has the potential for you to create miracles in your life. Why are you preventing it? Because you allow yourself to attach to the insecurities. Let the insecurities go. Step into the power of your voice. Step into the power of who you are. And in that space, and be direct on what you want. Be direct on what you want. That's what Pisces is about. We reclaim our gifts of who we are, our gifts within of the unseen world. We reclaim the support and trust that the guides and the ancestors and the benevolence are here with us. And in doing that, then we act with the Lord energy and the Lord card that's here. This Lord card is so powerful. Probably one of the most powerful cards I pulled in the deck so far. Stepping into that healthy masculine, acting in a space of knowing where you're going from this present moment. And believing in it, okay? I think that's huge with this Pisces. It's talking about the way we talk to ourselves through insecurity, repatterning our mind. And a great way to do that is through affirmations, doing some self-love affirmation videos, listening to that throughout your morning routine, throughout your day. It's going to be really helpful for you to reprogram that. The last thing you need to know about this Pisces full moon on September 10th, 2022 is, how do I people please through the space of my insecurities? Who am I pleasing? How much energy do I use on a daily to please other people, to please the version of myself my parents want me to be, to please the version that my family and my friends want me to be, my partner wants me to be? How to let that go? What are some ways I can fill up my cup to feel more comfortable in my uniqueness, in my gifts, and in my ability to step into my voice and the power of who I am? So a great shadow work activity for you for shadow work healing, along with the manifestation practice, because I always say you want to manifest at the high frequency. So what I would do is do this activity first and then do the manifestation activity I just mentioned. Write down, how do you people please from insecurities? Let's go into your inner child. Let's go into your teenage years. Let's go into the space. What we're doing there is we're disconnecting from the past and all the parts of our past that we are connected to that's preventing us from being in the now. And then we're able to then be in that present moment to manifest. But until then, we can't do that. So let's pull a card here for people pleasing. Let's see what ancestors say for people pleasing. Fire Guardian, ignite your passions. Oh my God, I'm just smiling. Fire energy here. Okay, we just had the Lionsgate that happened. It's still moving through us. It's such a powerful day. Here it's saying, how are you igniting your passions, not the passions of other people? How are you igniting your passions, not the pleasures and the way that people want to see you in this world for them? Ignite your passions. And I'm going to read this card because this one is powerful. I just felt a smile and a joy for all of you as I even tune into that. We have 100, 1 and 0, so new beginnings of infinity. and beyond. So connect with your desires. The sparks could lead to something beautiful. If you were to just take that leap and to let go of the insecurities and to do all that I shared in this video, what could happen? A lot of great things. But how much are you allowing the fear of not being a victim of your insecurities to be in your way all the time? Pisces full moon's going to dissolve that fully if you allow it to, obviously. The fire guardian represents the angels of fire. The fire is the energy of many people are afraid of, but shouldn't be, right? So it's interesting, I talked about the fear of the dark at the beginning, right? And then this energy card is kind of where we're going. So stepping into the passion if we choose to. So instead of being in the space of scared of our power, scared of who we could be without these insecurities and attachment, we can change that and ignite the fire in ourselves to claim and be selfish, to be selfless, and to enter into a space of passion, to enter a space of authority of our voice, to enter a space of who we are and to know who we are as a being and a soul, to enter a space of our passions, of our gifts, and who we can be. So passionate about this. Burning desires can lead to great expansion. Allow the fire guardian to help you awaken the wilder side of you. Going back to your inner child, that wilder side that has no restrictions, just allowing them to be who they want to be. Connect with them more every day during the Pisces full moon and every day just in general. Burn away any shame that standards you from who you want and your desire. How much of these insecurities of people's programming or our own inner programming of our self-talk is preventing us from moving the shame and claiming through the power of our gifts. When this card appears, you are reminded that passion is powerful and absolutely encouraged in the spirit. When we can be in the present now, we tap into passion, we have no worries. And we know that we can fully be embodied and guided by the unseen. But when we allow the dark to come in and focus on the dark and not the light of the fire, what we allow this and what we're giving permission to is to stay where we're at. So my question to you through this Pisces full moon, are you going to stay where you're at? Or are you going to allow yourself to ignite your passion and take that leap? Woo, that was a big one. Okay, I'm going to end with some affirmation cards. Let me know what's coming up for you. This was a really powerful card reading. I knew today would be a really good day to record this one. And considering I'm in Cusco, Peru, the lands, the Apus, the mountains are really bringing in all of this energy. Okay, we got 2 cards for you. Woo! Okay, friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. So this goes back to the relationship card that I had before. Let me try and find it. So this card, remember the penguins? I'm tuning into that. So soulmates. So knowing that our past relationships, our past soulmates have helped us understand our reasoning for life. All of the pain, all of the insecurities, all of the triggers, all of the trauma that we've experienced has brought us to understand that friend is in your life for a reason. That person's in your life for a reason because there's something wounded in yourself that wants to be healed and dissolved. That person's in your life because there is a gift that you both gave each other and you helped each other. But how much are you going to let that go and say thank you and move on to the next passion? Envy. I am the same as everybody but a different challenge. Comparison, jealousy comes up with this card and the solar plexus. How much are we allowing ourselves to be jealous and these insecurities? Comparison. Are you comparing yourself a lot? Maybe that's something that is more emotionally energetic during this Pisces full moon. Staying away from comparing and start focusing on the now of who you are. Okay? And maybe you were in a household or an environment that you constantly had to compare, whether it's in a career. Like for me, I was in fashion before PR, constantly comparing who you connect with, who you are in your life, all of that before I was in the healing world. You know, a life that a lot of people want, but let me tell you, it has a lot of envy, right? And whether it is a household where you had siblings that you always envied each other, right? Or maybe the parents envied you and your life because their inner child wasn't healed. That's not mine. This is yours. Take that power in your voice. That's not mine. Because there will be some tests here of envy. There is going to be tests of saying that everyone has their own journey. Everyone's the same. But at the end of the day, it's just a different lens. So which lens are you going to be willing to keep working through and healing from? Not the victim lens, the lens of passion and fire. Not the lens of dark, the lens of fire and light. That's what we're stepping into through the gifts that we haven't claimed and the gifts that we've been scared to show because people have judged us and made us insecure for that. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this Pisces full moon energy update. This was a really powerful one. Let me know down below what came up for you. This was so much fun to get to connect with you, to get to share this energy and share this medicine with you. And I hope you can feel the energy of Peru as I channel this for you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bell so you don't miss a video. I have your Pisces meditation healing coming up soon. It's a really powerful one, so be prepared to step into it. And you can do that meditation 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days after as well. And if you feel called to go deeper into your healing and shadow work, I am opening my enrollment for my one-on-ones, so you can apply down below. Message me on Instagram if you're interested. I am ready to heal, and I will support you with that, and we can go through the steps to see if you're a good fit. And lastly is my medicine retreat. So I have 2 retreats coming up. Costa Rica, the Awaken Healer. This is a space for healers or those who want to be a healer to step into their power and to understand how to go about it. A lot of the times we don't know how, right? We want to get there. We want to be a space holder. How do we do that? This is the retreat for you in Costa Rica. The other one is the Remember Retreat for Ancestral Healing. If you feel like you are an ancestral and karmic breaker in your family, this is the retreat for you. If you've noticed that you want to connect with your ancestors and your lineage and you haven't had the space to do so, this is a retreat for you. All of these retreats will include accommodation, will include vegan food for the dietas, Kambo medicine, other medicines as well, shamanic healing, workshops, as well as breath work. So if this is interesting to you, message me on Instagram. I am ready for the retreat. Let me know which one is calling for you, or email me through my website for my one-on-ones and my retreats. Okay, I love you all so much. Happy Pisces full moon. Let your passion and your fire ignite, and I will see you in the next video.